had a pretty good feeling about Rosemont even before I visited, because there's this page on the Rosemont website that's a day in the life of a Rosemont bride, and I cried when I got to the end of that page. It was exactly what I envisioned for my day, and so it was kind of, if it looked as good in person as it did on the website, I was going to be sold. And when John, my fiance, and I came to visit, we pulled up and we kind of looked at each other and nodded, and then Biff, the owner, showed us around, and we just looked at each other afterwards and were laughing because we both knew that this was it. John loves neoclassical architecture. We loved the history that surrounds Rosemont, and we just knew it would be a classic setting for a beautiful wedding. The drive from DC to Berryville is just long enough for you to unwind and take some deep breaths. Just as the traffic's clearing up, the hills part ways, and you see this beautiful Virginia rolling countryside rolling out in front of you. And, you know, just as you're really starting to enjoy it, you're like, darn, I have to get off the road. But you're excited to be at Rosemont. The majority of our friends did live inside the DC Beltway. And, but I liked the fact that it was close enough that if they didn't want to spend the night, they could make the drive back that night. One of the attractions for John and I to Rosemont was being able to have all of our immediate family and bridal party on site. So in the manor house, we had a lot of our immediate family and my grandmother staying here. My aunt and uncle and a few of my cousins were able to stay in one cottage, and then the rest of the bridal party that didn't fit in the manor fit in another cottage nearby. When it came to catering, I was a little nervous because there was only one exclusive caterer, but Biff introduced me to David Winchell with Celebrations Catering, and we talked on the phone for a really long time, and he really had the kind of generous manner and personable attitude that I really appreciated about the Rosemont staff. And so I kind of knew that they were going to be on the same page with the quality of service that they would provide. And then I looked online at Wedding Wire, and at the time he had something like 35-star reviews. There were no negative ones, which made me realize that this is probably an okay product that he's delivering. And it was a really easy planning process. The catering planning menu that they give you is really easy to help you pick your options, but again, he's flexible with making it your own. And he worked with my budget, and that was something that all the reviews said, and I have to, you know, add my testament to it, that he really worked with the budget that I have to make it work. By far my favorite moment was standing on the portico, holding John's hands, with the beautiful Virginia countryside on one side of us and all our dear friends and family on the other. And John said his vows to me, memorized by heart, loud and proud, and so that was by far my favorite moment. Other moments though, I loved being able to have the rehearsal dinner out on the portico, and we also did a welcome reception. So other people that had come from out of town were able to come and hang out that night. And so just being able to have that icebreaker before the next big day was really awesome and part of the whole experience that we had wanted for our wedding. We looked at a lot of beautiful venues, and Rosemont, of course, was one of, if not the most beautiful places. But we realized we were going to have to spend a little bit more than we initially anticipated in order to do Rosemont. And what we finally decided was that extra bit of money was going to guarantee us the quality of service that we wanted. Because we looked at other venues that may have been comparable as far as appearance and amenities, but not the service. The people at Rosemont really go above and beyond to make sure that you get the day that you want. And I could just tell that from the way Biff gave the tour, or the non-pressured way that Bill just talked about the experiences, and the way that David Winchell talks about getting you what you want and the menu that you want for your day. It's about you, and so the focus on you and your special day really make it worth that extra money. And John and I were able to see that, and we saw that as a guarantee of that quality of service, and we were willing to pay for that above and beyond service that Rosemont offered.